At September's end, the trip was broiling and boring. By chance, I discovered a remedy for both conditions. I had bobby pinned a Kleenex tissue to Shirley's head so her hair wouldn't get undone when I had her hang out the window with me into the breeze of the rushing air. My hair could be combed back in place, but Shirley's had been set at the factory. However, after several rounds of hanging out, the Kleenex began to shred and my eyes began to sting. So much for that activity. Eventually I managed to weave tissues between my bare toes and let my feet hang out. This resulted in some cooling of my legs and lower torso, plus intricately shredded tissue. These pieces of tissue stuck between my toes and made my feet look like fins. I began to pretend I was an air mermaid. This fantasy enhanced my sense of refreshment, but even mermaids get bored. My mom tried to engage me in a game of spelling some new words I'd learned to read, and that was fine for about an hour or so until we ran out of words. But when we stopped for gas, there was a figure of an Indian out front. I was instantly intrigued. He had a stern look on his face and was wearing a headdress of red feathers. My dad, after paying the bill, returned to the car and announced that this sculpture was of an Indian chief named Redfeather, and legend had it that he still roamed around these parts in search of good children. If they were good, they would be able to see him, and he would reward them with an authentic red feather from his tribe, which brought very good luck. And who was that good child going to be? So, hour after hour, my eyes were glued to the horizon, almost afraid to blink them for fear I would miss my quarry. I would watch until night made it impossible. I was so sure I had seen him on several occasions, yet by the time I would yell, "There he is," he would be gone, with no witness to validate my assertions. As hours and days passed by, my disappointment increased. I cried and complained that no one was helping me look for him. Yet one morning when we went to the car, there, under the windshield wiper, was a piece of paper. My dad read it and smiled. It said, "Tell little Ellie that she has been a pretty good girl, but she mustn't cry if things don't go her way. She must have faith and not give up and keep on looking for me." So for the remaining days of travel, I kept my eyes back on the horizon, only looking away if my mom or dad promised they would keep my vigil for me while I ate or attended to some other bodily need. The last morning of our sojourn, as we approached our car, I could see another piece of paper, once again under the windshield wiper, and it read, "Little Ellie has been a very good girl, and she did see me the other day, so I have left her a reward under the back license plate. I hope she has learned that rewards are worth waiting for, and one day I hope to see her again." My dad and I walked around to the back of the car, and there was a red feather tucked under the plate with a little note reading, "Welcome to my tribe, Chief Red Feather." For many years, whenever we traveled by car, I continued to look for that Indian. I must say, even after my dad admitted to being the deus ex machina of these events, as an adult traveling on the open road in a car, I still take a quick peek at the horizon, hoping to see Chief Red Feather, and I'm almost always a good girl.
Oh, we love that so much.
Yes. This because you've always
I've
been.
always been a good girl.
Yeah. Right?
But I would still cry when I wanted something and it would take them too long to give it to me.
So that's why I said
Look at
this.
you. See, your hair is like Shirley Temple.
Right? She
Well,
was Shirley
actually-
Temple. She was cuter.
It had
Yeah.
curls, but
Oh.
not like hers.
Did
So
Mommy do that
pretty.
for you with a curling iron?
No curling iron. My hair always would do whatever you wanted.
All you'd have to do is
So
do
she put a little moisture in it,
And then
put
just
it
do
in a
this.
towel comb and do
Yeah.
this, and by the time it dried, it had curls.
Yeah.
Curls. Oh.
So the note that the Indian wrote,
Yes.
which Daddy wrote,
Of course.
I know did Daddy really write that note exactly as you wrote it?
Pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Gosh.
her memory. That's her memory.
I would
of it.
never
That's what's so
picture
that he
him
would do
taking
that, but
to
I
do
love that he did
because
that
he didn't do those kind of things for
Yeah.
us.
because you came so
I know he was busy.
different
by
part of his
then.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had each other to entertain each other.
Exactly.
true.
She was
Ellie
belonged.
was alone in the car
Yeah.
with her parents.
But didn't you also make little art miniatures and little
I
rooms.
couldn't do anything in the car.
Oh.
Right.
I couldn't do anything until I got to wherever we were
Yeah.
going to live.
And then you could
And I was
actually
telling
make
somebody,
little
I don't
things.
know whether it was Pam or what, I still have a very vivid image of almost every place we lived.
Yeah,
You know,
you
where the
told me.
door was, where
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
where the ketchup bottle was.
Wow.
I don't even know
You know,
where I
even
lived
though we
last.
stayed at a place, sometimes we stayed for 6 months, other
Yeah.
times it would be a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I know you've always been able to describe bedrooms you had when you were 2 and 3 years old, and it wasn't because your parents told you
No.
that's what it looked
Well, I
like.
described a bedroom in my grandparents' house, and my mother said, "You're only 18 months old."
Wow.
I described a package of beech nut gum.
Amazing.
Because then a beech nut gum was a yellow wrapper with an elliptical medallion on the side with a garland of roses.
Wow.
And it doesn't look like that
No.
anymore. It
No.
hasn't for a very long time. And when I described the bedroom, she said that was Aunt Rose's bedroom in Granny Robinson's
Interesting.
house. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a wonderful childhood because I got to see a lot of things. I met some famous people.
Yeah.